Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the ManscapePodcast. I'm your host, Oh Snap, it's Steven, and this is my co-host,
Matt.
He's from Red Cedar Overland. Make sure y'all go give my boy a follow. I will tag him down below on everything.
I really need to get some Red Cedar Overland shirts made, so I'm not wearing other shirts from other people.
Let's fucking go to Red Cedar Overland. We are very proud to have a special guest in the building tonight that's going to be coming up and talking to y'all. He is someone that is very well known across social media and has a very big social media presence. He has held me down and been a very close friend of mine for the last 5 or 6 years. Would my co-host like to speak on our guest at all?
No, let's let him take the floor.
All right, if everyone could please give a warm, happy welcome to our guest, BigCountry. Welcome, BigCountry, to the ManscapePodcast.
Hey, man, it's good to be here. How y'all fellas doing?
Thank you so much for giving us your time and your evening to come record with us tonight. We very much appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. This is my first ever podcast interview, so it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you. Thank you for your time tonight. How was your day, bro?
It was pretty good, man. You know, had to work. So just got home a little late, so I feel bad because we're doing this a little late. But you know, I'll take responsibility for that.
Did you have dinner before you came on with us tonight?
No, I didn't. But I'm not really that hungry anyway.
When you cooking, do we usually find you in the kitchen or on the barbecue?
Both actually. Like I love grilling. I love cooking in the kitchen. I mean, I even love baking. Like
Nice.
Well, I love bacon, like, you know, the actual like breakfast bacon, but I also like baking as far as like cheesecakes, sweet treats, you know, and stuff like that.
Some cheesecake, homie. Was that
yeah.
you guys see in your hand?
It is. It's a Perdermo 23rd, lot 23, excuse me.
Shout out,
Nicaragua.
Are you drinking anything with us tonight?
Got a little bit of bourbon. I'm not really a big drinker anymore, but every now and again, especially after a long day, I wouldn't mind a little drink. Cheers to the Manscaped
would you like
Podcast.
to help welcome our special guest here tonight?
Well, you did the introduction already. I mean, what am I going to say? I think
this man has been holding me down for 5 or 6 years. Like, he's an A1 day one. Like, BigCountry stood with me when a lot of people wouldn't, you know, and I'm very honored and proud to have him here.
Dude, he's solid, dude.
Yes, he is. He's
it's all about, you know, the type.
Respectable.
It's all about the type of person that you are too, man. Like, you're a good dude, and I'm also the type of person, I see the best in people. So, you know, like when you and I started, like, you know, conversing through social media and stuff that, I was like, this is a solid dude. Like, you know, he's a good dude. He's gonna like, you can tell he's got a caring heart, you know, and all that stuff. So it's like, I mess with this.
You know,
dude,
bro,
so.
when you reached out and you told me you were taking that break to step away, go through some personal things, I was sad to see you leave for a little while. But like, when I found out you were back, homie, like, it's funny because Matt was actually the one who sent me your video. I was like, no fucking way, is that BigCountry? Like,
yeah, that's.
Dude, I was so stoked.
I was like, he's back. He's back.
Matt found you before I did. He sent me the video and he's like, is that BigCountry? And I had to watch it a couple times. I was like, holy shit, that's BigCountry.
Excuse me.
But yeah, we are so excited that you're back, bro. And you have such an amazing story to tell to the people. And with that, I'll quit my bullshit. I'll gladly give BigCountry the floor to share what's on his mind and heart tonight.
Well, yeah, man, I'm like I said, I'm extremely, honored to be here. It's my first ever podcast interview. So, I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Like I said, I've been, friends with you for a long, for both of y'all, for that matter, for a while. And I know it was a little difficult because like I stepped away from social media, but it was one of those things that it was absolutely needed. Um, Social media has a way of messing with your mind. It's
Absolutely.
it like the monotony of it can just brainwash you. And it got to the point where I was, let's say, how can I put this without putting too much out there? Like it just got to the point where I was like, I hit a dead end, and it was like, there's got to be something more than this. And ended up stepping away and was going through some personal stuff, which we'll get into, but it eventually just built me into the person that I am today. And, I grew up, in a pretty loving household. Like, my family, my parents are still together. Heck, they got married in 80, I think 85. So they're, what is that? 40 something years together. I don't remember,
Are you still
but,
close with your parents?
I'm very close with my parents. Love them to death. They do a lot for me. I try to, do as much as I can for them. Um, but they just two of the best people that anybody could ever ask to be parents.
Does Big
I
Country
mean,
have
I
any
grew up.
brothers or
What
sisters?
do you?
I do. I have. I'm the oldest of three. I have
Oh, I
a
didn't know
younger
that.
brother. He's 3.5 years younger than me, and then I got a sister that's almost 13 years apart. So it's like 12 years and like
Wow.
9 months or something. But
What
like
was
I said, I
school
grew
like for
up.
you growing up?
I'm sorry.
What was it like going to school for you growing up? Like, did you do well in school? Were you bullied at all? Like, what was school like for
Oh
you?
no. To both of those actually. I was never really bullied. You had a couple of guys that were like, the 5 foot little dweebs that wanted to try to give a hard time to the biggest guy out there in school, but never worked out for him at all. Um, and then as far as like academia and stuff like that, I wasn't never really like book smart. I was more like hands on. Um,
Hmm.
I needed to be out there, you know, learning the stuff like in firsthand experience, not from a classroom type thing. So like school was never really my thing. I graduated, but I that was about it. Like I got into college by the skin of my teeth and did 2 years, got hurt playing
Right on.
football,
I was
and
just going to ask if you ever
I
played
left it.
football.
Say it again.
I was just going to ask if you ever played football because you're a big dude.
Yeah, I have. I played football ever since I was in like seventh grade. I was too big to play on like Pop Warner, which is what we call
Yeah,
it down
yeah.
here, but it's like the little league or whatever. I was too big for that. So I never really got to play that, but ever since like seventh grade I was playing, and then I graduated playing football and then went and played 2 years of college ball at a little
That's
small school up in
badass.
the upstate. But I ended up getting hurt, and I was like, nah, I'm done. So I quit, came back home, started working, and
Nice.
I've been through a few jobs. Like, I mean, I was working, at a food distribution warehouse, and like just unloading trucks. And I mean, I was fresh out of high school. It was decent money.
Hmm.
But then like started going in and doing other things, and eventually I worked into driving trucks. Um, and that was kind of what allowed me to have the free time to be able to actually create content, because if I wasn't driving, I was, sitting in the truck or,
Yeah,
walking around or something like that. So I was, it gave me a lot of time. However, um, with me driving trucks, it also led to a really dark time in my life. So during the time that I was doing social media, it was actually during the time that I was actually driving trucks. That was when I was at my peak.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was at my peak, um, you know, I was able to create a lot of content because I had a lot of free time. But with that free time, cost me a lot of things in my own personal life.
Yeah.
So I ended up, long story short, I was married before, and we ended up getting a divorce. We were absolutely miserable together. Like, I spent 11 years with this woman, and it was there. Don't get me wrong, there were good times, but there were way worse times than there were good times. And we were just
Absolutely.
so toxic for one another. Both of us did not know what it took to be in an actual relationship. Um, I mean, both. I'm not going to sit here and point fingers and all that stuff, but you know, she was very manipulative. I was very manipulative. We were both vindictive. We couldn't stand being in the same room as each other, and we tried to make it work and tried to make it work, but it was like I said, we were just so toxic together. Um, and she ended up hitting me with a divorce, and the way she hit me with a divorce is, I'm not going to get really into all of that, but that was, I do feel like that was kind of messed up. But you know, if I wasn't, if it didn't happen when it happened, I wouldn't have what I have now. And so
Did you
I
guys
wasn't
ever
really
have
that.
like? Did you guys ever have kids, or like, is there any little countries out there?
Oh, heck no, absolutely not. Thank God for that too. I mean, like I said, I can't talk. I'm not gonna get on here and like bash my
Mhm.
ex.
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
truly
I
do wish
respect that.
I truly do wish her the best. I really do. I think that the way she's going about life is the extremely wrong way. But it's all about live and learn type thing. Hopefully, she's learning from her mistakes and she's able to grow up or grow up. She's able
Mhm.
to grow in these scenarios and learn from them and just know not to make those mistakes ever again.
Mhm.
I truly, like I said, I truly do wish her the best. But during that time, that was when I was really at my peak on social media,
I
and
remember that.
I I hit a dark spot. Like, I did. I was when she hit me with a divorce. Like, I was broken. I didn't want to be that guy that was divorced, and all that stuff. I wanted to go off and be happily married for the rest of my life, even though I was
Mhm.
completely miserable. And you know, I I walked on eggshells a lot with her for the whole 11 years. And it got to the point where, because of those eggshells that I had to walk on, I never wanted to be home. Like, even when I was working like normal everyday jobs, like go to work, come home, go to work, come home, instead of driving trucks over the road, I never, ever wanted to go home. I hated being at home. And it was because if she was there, I didn't want to be around her. I mean, I'll put it to you
I
this way:
get
for
that.
the last like 4 years of our marriage, never slept together. I slept on the
Oh,
couch, she slept in the bed.
it had to be a
That's
big
about as
couch.
personal as I'll go with that. But that's how bad it was. And of course, during that time, I started, riding motorcycles again. I rode when I
Mhm.
was younger, but
What
I
was
ended
your
up
very
going in.
first bike?
I had a 2015 Ultra Limited CVO. It
Wow.
was a nice bike. Too grandpa-ish for me, but it was a nice bike.
Hey Matt,
I
don't you
liked
ride
it.
as well?
Yes,
Huh?
Matt, what are you riding?
a junk Honda.
Ain't nothing junk about it, bro. As long as you're
That
riding
Honda
it,
Shadow's
that's all that
badass.
matters, right?
The
But
thing is I've got so many modifications to that thing. People mistake it for a dyno when it's coming down the road.
hey, I've
But
seen a lot of those bikes like that though, man. They're dope. But I ended up trading that bike in and getting the bike that I currently have, which is a 2020 Road Glide Special. Um, and I love it. I
Road
got a
glider,
lot of
no
work
glide,
done to
baby.
this. Uh,
Road glider, no glide, baby.
yeah, exactly. I
Is your
love
road
it,
glide
man.
all stock still, or have you put anything aftermarket on it?
Oh, I got a lot of aftermarket parts on that.
What have
He's
you
had
done
them.
with
I'm
it?
not gonna go into I'm not gonna go into details as I never know who's listening to this thing. Ain't
Well,
nobody else's business. I'll tell you off camera.
I'll tell you one thing. When you see him on the Road Glide, he makes the Road Glide look small. He's a big dude.
I literally make this thing look like a dino. But that's
Yeah,
what
you do.
happens, when you're 6'8", it like you make everything look small.
Hey, comment section.
But hey,
There's allegedly a picture of him out there of him on a little 883 Sportster, and he makes that thing look tiny.
yeah, that's my fiance's bike. She's got one, and it was fun. It was really fun driving that little thing around. I had a blast driving that little thing around. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I started off on a 2015 or 2016 ultra limited CVO, and then I ended up going and getting my 2020 Road Glide Special, which I still currently have. Um, and I mean, me and Kayla, we still ride. We
Mhm.
we love absolutely love jumping on the bike and just going and riding around. But
For
we'll
those
get
that
into
don't
that
know
later.
for those that don't
Huh?
know who is Kayla,
Kayla is my fiance.
how do
Um,
you guys meet?
but like I said, we'll get into. I'm kind of getting ahead of
All right.
myself. So anyway, like I said, I never wanted to be home. I was always
Mhm.
like, if I saw my now ex-wife's car in the driveway or in the garage or something like that, I was like, I either was gonna sit in the driveway in my pickup truck for hours because I just did not want to go in, or I was gonna just walk in there and just, take whatever kind of whatever I was gonna receive. So, um, I I ended up going and buying, my first bike, and that was it. Like when I got that, I was riding all the time. I wouldn't come home till 11, 12 o'clock at night. I wasn't doing anything I wasn't supposed to be doing. It was just I was going
Mhm.
riding. I felt a sense of freedom. But then, time passed. I ended up getting the bike that I currently have, and it was the same thing. I was still
Yeah.
going and riding around, and all that stuff. Ended up developing some friendships and in a certain motorcycle club, and and I have all the love and respect for those guys. And truth be told, I miss a lot. I miss all of them practically. I just because of like fast forward like my divorce and my separation from my ex-wife, you know i
Mhm.
i, I was kind of wondering like what is it exactly that I was doing wrong, and I found out there was a lot of things that I was doing wrong. So I started looking into those things. It led me to becoming a Christian, and I told myself like, look, I understand, that I made these mistakes. I didn't know that I was doing the wrong thing. I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to do. And I was just giving my normal reaction, but it turns out it was not the normal reaction. It was
I do got a question
it
on
was
something you said a little earlier because you were saying you were going through the divorce and all that, and you got into the motorcycle community. Do you
mhm.
think you got into that community because you were looking for like some kind of love or acceptance, something to fill that gap of what you were going through?
Absolutely. And I feel like that's the problem that a lot of people have when they venture off into like whatever it is. Um, they are not feeling something that they want to feel like from their home life or whatever the case may be. So they go and look for something like some sort of um I don't necessarily want to say like a physical connection, like a
Mhm.
attraction or something like that. But even though some people do, and I do think that's wrong, um, I would say like I didn't want to cheat on my ex-wife, but I had a
Absolutely.
motorcycle, and it was like I just wanted to go ride, and I ended up finding
Mhm.
some friends that rode as well. We rode together. Um, I was a big time, or I still am. I'm still a supporter of the motorcycle club that I aspired to join at one point in time.
Mhm.
Um, and I was when I started hanging out with those guys from this particular motorcycle club, I like felt like the door was open for me. Like they wanted me there. Like I felt like
Mhm.
that was something, that was what I was kind of missing. Like there were people here who actually cared about me, and actually liked that I was around. They wanted me around, and it's like that's what I was looking for. And I, was at the clubhouse every weekend. I was at almost every event that I could be at, and I'm talking where I was at damn near 99% of the club, or at the of the events they were having and stuff like that. Every week meeting they have, I was there walking around with the other, you know, friends of, hanging around, supporters, prospects, and all that stuff. I'm hanging out with all these guys,
Absolutely.
building friendships, and like a brotherhood that I was wanting. And of course my ex-wife could not stand that, because she
Yeah.
thought the motorcycle club world was just, a bunch of criminals and stuff, and it's not true. So, you know, but like I said, I was going through some really rough times through my divorce and my separation, and I ended up ultimately just realizing that this was something that I didn't need to do anymore, and that
I
there
was
was a
going to
better
ask,
path
like,
for me.
it sounds like you have so much love for that lifestyle and that community. Like, what made you want to change your life and get out of it?
Well, excuse me. I think what really pushed me to do that was I established a relationship with God. Um,
Mhm.
I am a man of faith. I mean, I know I'm out here smoking a cigar. I got bourbon. Judge me. I don't care.
We're not going to judge you
Um,
around here. This
I
is
know
all
y'all.
men.
I know y'all won't, but there are some people out there that will.
Hey,
Um,
my opinion is, it's not, as long as you're not overindulging and you're doing it in moderation.
exactly. This is the first cigar, like actual first, like I guess what people call stogies, that I've had in probably, I'd say probably about 5 or 6 months.
Oh,
And
wow.
I bought that bottle of bourbon in there. It's just a little fifth of bourbon. This is the second or
Hmm.
third drink that I've had out of it in like the past month or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I'm not a big drinker anymore. I do like my cigars, but like I said, I used to have a humidor full of them. Now I just buy them whenever I want them. Um,
Yeah.
but I established, a relationship with God. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and through reading scripture and stuff like that, I come to the realization that I had other things for me in this world. I just had to become who I needed to become so I can get to that point. And it's crazy
Hmm.
how stuff like this works. And I'm not going to get into like all of that right now, but you
Yeah.
know, when you're reading scripture, it's like the Bible is actually speaking to you. Like you, me and Matt could read the same verse,
Yeah.
and all of us would get something different out of it, because that verse
Yeah.
applies to us and our situations in our life. And and it's like, oh man, like I feel like this is what I need to do. And I'm like, oh, I feel the same way. So I'm going to go do this, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's a wonderful feeling. And that's what ultimately led me away from the motorcycle club world. Now, don't get me wrong. I still support. I mean, Stephen, you've seen me on calls and
Hmm.
live streams and stuff like that on social media. I still have support gear. I still rock it. I still love the guys that I was affiliated with going on. That was going on like 8 years or something like that. That
Hmm.
I was in with those guys, like hanging out with them and stuff like that. I was never a
Is
member. I I,
is there
I
anything
was
that would pull you back into that life? Like, would you ever want to go back?
not really. And it's because like of the life that I have now and the life that I'm building now. Like
Hmm.
as much as I love and respect the patch and the history of that particular motorcycle club and those alike, I
Hmm.
have the upright most respect for that. And
Absolutely.
I hold that journey and that process and those men that were a part of that very close to my heart, because they were there for me even when I didn't have anybody. And it sometimes,
Mhm.
like, I feel bad that I'm not around them anymore, but then it's like I have to do what's best for me in order to be able to help
Absolutely.
others. So, I like I did. There are certain times, like, I just had this conversation with Kayla just a few minutes ago. Um,
Mhm.
she I told her, I was like, there are certain things that I do miss about it, but it's not enough to make me want to go back and not have
I
what I
get
have
that.
now.
I can relate to that.
But,
Um,
you know, oh, go ahead. My bad.
there's something I want to rewind and just kind of touch on that I just thought of, and it's kind of not really on this topic, but you were talking about it earlier, like social media and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
I want to rewind to early big country. Like, weren't you in the music industry for a little bit? Do I
I
remember right?
was,
You were doing music?
yeah. So, like, I started off, me and my brother, uh, we ended up getting into like the country rap scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, don't like everybody's probably listening. Oh my god, country rap! But you know, back then it was very taboo. It was like
Yeah,
nobody's doing it, and then everybody was like, "Oh, it's country rap, like it's crap." That's what people called it.
yeah.
And it's
I
like
remember
people
that. I
have
did
their
that
own
for a while.
opinions and stuff like that. I didn't care, but we ended up getting in really close with another artist that was Nashville signed, and all that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
he helped us get out there. And then once we started actually kind of noticing some of the stuff about like the industry, it was like, man, this isn't what we really thought it was, but we still continue to do it. Then
Mm-hmm.
my brother, I'm not going to tell his story, but he kind of went through some stuff, so he stepped away, and totally fine. I understood completely. Uh, and I ended up building a band. So
Awesome.
we were still called Them Country Boys, and which is what everybody thinks TCB on my old handle was, taking care of business, but it was
Mm-hmm.
actually Them Country Boys.
I
I
never
thought that
knew
was funny.
that. I always thought it was take
Yeah,
care of business. Huh?
nah,
Little
surprise.
you
But
know.
yeah. Anyway, so I built this band, and we were great. There's a lot. I'm a very humble person, and I'm my own
Mm-hmm.
worst critic. But I will say, like, all these guys that I had were absolutely phenomenal. And we started writing more music, and it was getting more towards, like, we were getting away from the tracks, and we were playing live, like straight live music. And I mean, the songs that we were writing were, it was, we were singing the hooks, and then we were
Mm-hmm.
rapping the lyrics. So it was kind of like a mix between like Kid Rock, Blackstone Cherry, um, let's see here, what are some other, like, Moccasin Creek, uh, it was like that Southern rock mixed with rap, mixed with like outlaw country and metal.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for us. We really liked it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But then, of course, you have band drama and stuff like that. Guys like end up growing and wanting to do something else, which totally understand. I didn't care. And then we ended up splitting after we made like a little EP. It was a little 3-song EP. And one of the songs is actually well, it's not available for like download or anything, but it's on YouTube. All you gotta do is look up Them Country Boys, Dirty Hands by Them Country Boys.
Is it still
It's a
out there?
lyrical video. Yeah, it's still out there. I just showed it to a
I'll have
buddy
to
of
look
mine
it
the other
up.
day because he heard that I was in the music industry. So, I,
There's something
it's
you
still out there.
mentioned, and I feel like this is really kind of important. You mentioned country rap. You mentioned Nashville. We can't just glaze over that without mentioning the name Jelly Roll. And
Yeah.
I have heard allegedly that Bunny used one of your videos or one of your sounds on TikTok. Can you confirm or deny this?
Oh, she absolutely did. I posted the video on my TikTok. it was a sound that I had made, and you'll have to forgive me. I don't remember everything, but it was a quote that I had heard a long time ago, and randomly it just pops up into my head, and I was like, that would make a good video. So I was like, I just grabbed my phone. I got my hand up on the door of my sliding back glass door of my old house, and I'm sitting there. I got the camera like this and just kind of posted up like this, and I'm like, a lot of people wonder why women always flock to men who are outlaws of society instead of the hero. You want me to tell you why that is? The hero will sacrifice the woman to protect the world. A man who is an outlaw to society will sacrifice the woman for will sacrifice the world for the woman that he loves.
I
And
always wondered where that came from.
yeah, it was just a stupid
That's
quote that I found, and it wasn't even the same. I ended up changing a couple of words on it to kind of
Hmm.
adhere to my audience, and I
Yeah.
don't even remember what the old quote was. I just remember mine, and and it went and it went some odd viral. I think there was like 400 or 500 videos that were made on it, and then like
Oh wow.
I
to
think
be
uh I think
to
What's
our
be
that
old
honest.
match?
friend,
Sorry.
huh? Oh,
To
go
be
ahead, buddy.
honest. Now I used it on one of my videos, and you ended up liking my video that I used it on. That
I tried to go through and like everybody's video, but especially the people that followed me, and I
yeah,
followed them.
it was a video of me and my girl. We were riding, and we kind of dabbled in the same worlds there for a while. But
Yeah.
you and I woke up and my phone said, "Big Country TCB liked your video." Hell yeah.
But so like I said, the um the video was going somewhat viral. I mean, it was like I said, like 4, 5, 600 views or so, or four,
Hmm.
5, 600 videos were made with it. And then one day I woke up and our friend Ink Deviant, she had sent
Shout
me
out
the
Ink.
video. Yeah, shout out Ink. Um, she sent me the video of Bunny using my sound. And I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I was like, I was ecstatic. I was starstruck because I was like, "Oh my god! Like Bunny's using my sounds. This is awesome." Well, then I didn't even think about like the amount of attention that sound got after that. So a few days later, I went and checked, like, because you know how you can click the little sound bite and it'll take you
Yep.
to all the videos that have used it. Well, there was like 7,000 videos that were that sound was used for, and I was like, "Oh my god, you got to be kidding me!" And so I messaged Bunny on Instagram, knowing good damn well I was not gonna hear from her, right? So I
Hmm.
messaged her and I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that was my sound that you used," and I had the video and I sent it to her so she knew which one I was talking about. And I was like, "I just want to say thank you so much. I was not thinking that you would even see my stuff." And she was like, "Oh, honey, like I absolutely love your voice. You need to make more videos like this because I will absolutely use them. Like you have that good of a voice on stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, well, I appreciate that. I definitely will."
So
And
I just want to pause right here for a sec because have you deep dived social media, bro? Like with that video?
have I what?
Because have you deep dived through social media with that video?
Oh man, people still send me videos of people using that sound.
Like I
And
looked around before, like I went and found Bunny's video, and bro, your sound is still going across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like your voice is still out there. Like even though like it's not directly linked to you anymore, your voice is still out there being used on videos that aren't even on your profile anymore.
oh yeah, a buddy of mine sent me that video. Sent me a video of the guy. It's a white dude. He's got a bunch of tattoos all over his face and a grill and everything. I don't know his name, but
Hmm.
he was using it. My buddy was like, "Dude's acting like he's you," and I'm like, "Nah, he's just using my sound, bro." I was like, "I appreciate it," but I mean, I thought it was really cool because people are still using that like to this day,
Right?
and I was like, "Man, that's cool." But anyway, so like I messaged Bunny and or
Yeah.
I messaged him Bunny. We had the conversation, and then I was done. Like I got off, Instagram, took care of what I needed to take care of, and then later on that night, I opened Instagram back up, so I had a message. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go to it. It's Bunny again, and she was like, "Hey, you live in South Carolina, right?" I was like, "Yeah," and she was, "Are you coming to the Anderson show?" I was like, absolutely. Me and my best friend already got tickets. We're coming. And she was like, okay, let me know when you get there. I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I even told my best friend, I was like, bro, like I'll hit her up, but I'm not expecting much at all. I mean, who the hell am I compared to Bunny and Jelly? I mean, and this
Right?
is back in like 2020 or 2021 or something. It might have been 2019. I don't remember. But anyway, so we get in and I messaged her. I was like, hey, you told me to message you. I'm messaging you, letting you know that I made it in. And then 5 minutes later, I get a message from her saying, all right, I'm sending one of his guys to come get you. And I'm not going to say his name because she said his name. But,
Yeah.
I,
Respecting it and
but he
everything.
came out and got me, took me right to me and my best friend, right to the green room. We stood back
Mm-hmm.
there, hung out with Jelly. And then during his show, we stood in between the crowd and the stage. They had the railing to separate the crowd from the stage. And we were
Yeah.
able to walk that entire distance between the crowd and the stage.
Did you
And
meet
while
Bunny
I
as
was
well?
there, no, Bunny wasn't there, unfortunately. I wish I would have met her. But I did not get to meet her. But I did get to meet Jelly, and I'm still
What
friends
was
with a
he
lot of his
like?
entourage.
What was it like meeting Jelly Roll? Like, what is he like as a person? Like,
Man, honestly and truthfully, Jelly Roll is one of those guys that, how can I put this? Like, words cannot describe how how awesome of a person he is. Like, Jelly Roll is one of those types of guys that have to you literally have to experience it, like
mm-hmm.
firsthand experience. Like, I'm not talking about going to a show. I'm not talking about like a meet and greet or something, which I mean, you would be able to get a little bit of a dose of how awesome he
Yeah.
is at a meet and greet. But I'm talking about actual like face to face interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when and like where he is actually like just talking with you. Like when I was back there in the green room, he looked over at me, he saw me, he just like he knew me for like
Mm-hmm.
years and was like, "Big Country, how you doing, brother?" And I was like, "This man don't know me." Like, and he calling me by name. I'm like, pretty cool. But anyway, so
Shout out Jelly
I
Roll.
walk. Yeah, shout out Jelly Roll. But yeah, I mean, like, we walk up, and me and my best friend are like talking with him and stuff like that. And like I said, man, just you cannot put into words how how
Hey,
how great
Did you
of a
did you
of a person
fangirl at
he
all?
is.
Big Country? Like, were you in like
I mean,
shock? And
I
I'm
I,
like, oh.
I was starstruck. I wouldn't necessarily call it like fangirling. I was more so I was starstruck because you got to
Mm-hmm.
think, man. Like, I've been following Jelly since like 2012, 2011, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to Jelly Roll's music for a long time. The first time I ever met Jelly was long before he got to the point where he's at right now.
Oh wow.
It was actually back in like 2013. I went to it was a local spot. It was Struggle Jennings was opening up, then it was Jelly, then it was Bubba
Struggles
Sparks, then it was
dope.
Yellow Wolf. Yeah.
I've also
And
met Yellow Wolf. He's awesome.
yeah. And I'm like, so like the first time that I met Jelly, this is how like, not, I don't necessarily want to say small because he was still like he was one of those guys like you wanted to go see. But the
Mm-hmm.
first time that I ever saw him, I'll say the place. It was the Music Farm in Columbia, South Carolina. That was the first time that I ever saw Jelly Roll. Like I said, Struggle, him, Bubba, and Yellow Wolf were all, playing together. And like the following and like the name Jelly Roll was still like small enough to where like when he got off stage, he came to the merch table and he was selling merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it is now where you go to a show and he's got like what 7, 8, 9,
Security
10
everywhere.
like booths and all like what are they called? Merchandise booths and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Probably got close to $250,000 worth of daggum merchandise, probably way more than that. But he's probably he's got a bunch of different booths set up for
Mm-hmm.
selling merchandise, and he's backstage, in the green room doing his thing, before and after the show and stuff like that. And it's like when I actually got to actually meet him, like in a time where he was actually like not doing as much I guess harsh drugs as what he
Yeah.
was doing then. Like he was still like, the big jelly roll that everybody knew, but he was that was the at the time where he was becoming a lot more, I guess, humble. Um
Yeah.
and like this was like fast forward to like 20, I think it was like 2019 or 2020 or something like that. Um Jelly was, just like when I actually got to talk with him, I literally talked to him for like 20, 30 minutes. And then he had to go off and of course perform. And then after he got finished
Absolutely.
performing, we got to hang out some more.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite Jelly Roll song?
Oh man. Honestly and truthfully, I can't say I have a favorite because I would have to say albums. Like my favorite album
Mm-hmm.
of Jelly Rolls would have to probably be um Dadgummit. I can't remember. I just drew a blank. The name of the album. The one that's got I Am Not Okay on it. Probably gotta be my favorite album.
I like some of his earlier stuff, like Welcome to the Trap House, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like rap wise, yeah. Like Jelly Roll was that guy. Like I absolutely love listening to Welcome to the Trap House. The song he did with DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia,
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine and Drummer Boy. Like
Oh, I love that. I
I
love that
those
song, Cocaine.
yeah. I mean that was the type of music that I was listening to back then, so I absolutely loved that one.
Um, so this is going to be kind of in common with you. What do you think of Jelly Roll going on that big weight loss journey?
Man, I was so happy to see that because I honestly feel like we as like an audience of his and fans of his made the right
Mm-hmm.
person famous. Jelly Roll is probably one of the most deserving people of his fame that I've ever met. Like he is the most deserving of it. And Bunny as well. Like Bunny deserves just as much of the the fan base that Jelly Roll has, and all that stuff as he does. They're both two fantastic and just extremely like sweet human beings.
Mm-hmm. Is that what inspired you to go on your health and fitness journey?
I mean, part of it, yeah. I didn't even know that Jelly Roll was on a quote unquote fitness journey. Because like for a while there, he was trying to do something, and then he ended up falling off the bandwagon because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was going on internally, and he talks about that in the Joe Rogan podcast that he did, not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when he finally started understanding that stuff, that was when the weight really started falling off. And but like seeing him and then one of my dear friends who I work with, he lost practically a whole human being. He's lost like over
Wow.
200 pounds. And I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. But of course, like after listening to Jelly Roll's podcast, I ended up like coming to the realization that some of the same stuff that he was kind of going through with his weight loss and like trying to lose weight, I was going through the same stuff. So you know, I'm working on trying to basically do the same thing, and trying to lose a lot of weight and then just try to tack on a bunch of muscle right after.
You know, like with everything you're going through and stuff like that, who inspires you, or like who or what do you look up to, like that really kind of motivates you and helps keep pushing you forward?
Man, honestly and truthfully, the thing that motivates me the most is my family. Um,
Hmm.
I I get up every day and go to work because they deserve the best life they can have,
Absolutely.
and I want to be able to provide that one day. You know,
Hmm.
so that's what motivates me. But then, like, like I've had other men, like, um that I talk with and counsel with, and stuff like that whenever I'm going through stuff
Hmm.
like mentally or whatever. And they, of course, have great, advice, and stuff like that. So, of course, I listen to them. And, um, because I know they have the best interest for me. But I'm going to tell you one thing, and this is for anybody out there that really, really needs like a motivational boost. Like you're going through something and you really need that extra like oomph to like just get through whatever it is you're going through. I want
Yeah.
everybody to go. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Apple Podcasts, whatever it is that you listen or watch videos from. Go look up a guy named Inky Johnson, Inky Johnson, Johnsson. He was a defensive back for the University of Tennessee, the Tennessee
Hmm.
Volunteers. Um, and he ended up getting hurt really bad. I'm talking like they didn't think it was that bad, but when they got him to the hospital, even the doctor said like, "Oh yeah, you're going to be fine. Like you're going to be back up on your feet, blah blah blah, and all that stuff here in no time." Then about 10 minutes later, doctor comes rushing back in there and said, "We got to prep him for emergency surgery right now, otherwise he's going to die."
Wow.
And he talks about his whole story. And now, like Inky has, I don't remember what arm it is, but like one of his arms, he has to have like a sleeve on it because
Yeah.
this arm is practically paralyzed, and he only has one good functioning arm. But
Hmm.
one possibly the best motivational speaker I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. Congratulations to David Goggins, and all that stuff, but he can't even motivate me the way that Inky Johnson does.
You know, if you could sit and have a conversation with anybody dead or alive, doesn't matter, celebrity, anybody dead or alive, who would you like to sit and talk to?
Um, I mean, a celebrity. Well,
Doesn't
I
even
don't.
have to be a celebrity, like anybody. They could be dead, alive, anyone. Like, who would Big Country just like to sit and have a conversation with?
Well, I don't. I don't. I don't know. I like as far as the dead goes. Like I'm like I said, I am a Christian, and I like the there's a verse in the Bible. I don't remember the exact wording, but it basically just tells you to like let the dead be dead. Like let the dead
Hmm.
just like you know. So I don't. The way I look at it now is that there's nobody dead that I would want advice from. Like as far as alive goes, man, like there's a couple of them I would like to talk with just to get a little bit of advice from, and that would probably be like Tony Robbins, um,
Hmm.
and then of course um, Jelly Roll. I mean, I could sit and talk with Jelly all day, every day. Not because I'm a fan of his, but just because like he is just that great of a human.
Hmm.
Um, and then I don't remember what the guy's actual name is, but he's a cowboy, and I don't remember what state he's in, but he has like just this cool, calm, collective voice, deep. He usually smokes cigars when he's doing podcast episodes, and stuff like that. I don't remember his name. I think it was like something Wrangler or Wrangler something. I can't remember,
Mhm.
but he just sounds like someone that I could sit around like a little campfire with and just listen to stories all day long.
Right. Um, I don't know. You've been telling me a lot about like Road to Redemption. What is that?
So the Road to Redemption is a program that I'm starting up. It's in the building phases right now. More so planning than anything. But you know, the Road to Redemption is basically exactly what it is. It is a road that puts you on the path of redemption. Everybody has a redemption story that's just waiting to be lived out. And
Mhm.
when people finally they come to the understanding that they don't know everything about life, and nor are they ever going to know everything about life. But if they can humble themselves and understand that God has a path for them, and if they're willing to humble themselves enough and follow that path, they will be much happier than they've ever been in their entire life. Um, and I'm living proof of that. So the Road to Redemption is a program for strictly for men,
Mhm.
and it's basically just to help men level up in life, whether that be in like just regular, every average everyday life, relationships, finances, mental health, just all kinds of different aspects. Like, I have a group on Facebook. If you go on Facebook and look up Road to Redemption, it comes right up. Everybody that comes into the Road to Redemption, well, first off, let me back up and say this: the Road to Redemption is there's different levels to it. So when you come in as a supporter, and it's the different levels um of the Road to Redemption is like that of joining a motorcycle club. You do not
Mhm.
have to have a motorcycle to join this group. You we're actually not even a motorcycle club, a riding club, a motorcycle ministry. We're not anything like that. It's just anybody who wants to get just free information about how to level up in life. You can join this group. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay anything for it. I
Do you want me
eventually
to
will
post that
probably
link
end
down
up.
below?
I mean, I can't. I don't have it on me right now, but
No, I'll post it when I do my editing.
okay. So basically, when someone joins the group, they come in as a supporter, and then after they've kind of gotten the gist of things, like okay, like I kind of like what they're doing here. If they want to take the next step to join, they would have to do this thing that we used to do, or that I had to do when I was in the process of joining the motorcycle club that I was in the process of joining, is state your intentions. And from stating your intentions, you were making a declaration that this is what you want to do. You want to be a part of this group. You want to be a part of this community. And you were basically making a declaration that you were going to do what you can to first off help yourself and become better for yourself, but then also
Mhm.
eventually work into excuse me, being a man of value to the group as well. Um, then from of course friend of the like once you get voted in as a friend of the club, you move up. Eventually you'll get asked to become a hang around, and you'll get asked to become a prospect, and then you work into becoming, of course, a full patch member. And then when you become a full member, you have three options. Three. You could either do like take what you've learned and just go live
Mhm.
your life and just apply everything you learned to your life, or you can become your own, like you can start your own self-development coaching um journey or business or whatever, or you can do it under the umbrella of the Road to Redemption, and you would just be like a Road to Redemption self-development coach, and you would just
Mhm.
kind of help me, and you would take these groups of men and these groups of men, and just help each other out. Because in the Bible it talks about we are our brother's keeper.
That's
We
right.
carry each other's burdens. We help each
Shut
other. We
up,
pray
Matt,
for
my
one
brother.
another. Yeah, all that stuff. Like we do all that stuff for each other. That's what we're
Right.
supposed to do. So, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's a group that no matter what it is you're going through, you have somebody that you can lean on and be like, man, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
going through it right now. Like, can you help me? Is there any kind of advice you can give me? Blah blah blah, all that stuff, and that's what we're here for. Um, and then like eventually, what I want to work into is I want to make this into a nonprofit organization. That's what I really want
Mm-hmm.
to do. And it's going to be strictly donations. Like anybody that wants to donate money, or donate something to the cause, great. But we're not a 501c3 yet, so there's no donations right now. So anybody that wants to come in is absolutely nothing required, just effort. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I eventually want to work into getting like basically hosting what is it like basically just sending invites out to everybody and just be like, hey, we're gonna have this event at this place. You should come out. There's gonna be a lot of people speaking. There's gonna be catering. There's gonna be games. There's gonna, whatever. Bring your son, because we're all about trying to help raise our young boys into becoming
Mm-hmm.
men of value for the community.
Absolutely. So, what inspired you to start the Road to Redemption?
Well, so like it kind of goes back into like my divorce. Like when I was going through my divorce, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have two nickels to rub together. I was broke. And so whenever like I hit up a couple people, and I'm not gonna say their names because I don't want backlash on them. But I was
Respect,
I
yeah.
hit up a couple of I hit up a couple of different people, and I told them like, man, I'm really going through the pits right now. Like, is there anything that you can tell me? Like, is there like a book I can read, a podcast I can listen to, like something like help me, just point me in the right direction so I can figure out what I got to do. And they'd just be like, "Oh yeah, man, we think you'd be a great candidate for our quote unquote Christian men's like help group. Just send us $1,500 and we'll help you." And I'm like, "Man, I'm sorry, I ain't got two nickels to rub together. Like I can't do this."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Okay, well, can you do 1,000? And then you could just pay the rest of the 500 off whenever you get it, and then we can put you in the group." I was like, "Bro, if I couldn't pay a $1,500 fee, what makes you think I can pay 1,000?" Like, they were like, "Oh, well, you gotta invest in yourself if you wanna get better." And I was like, "This is not a Christian program, man.
That's
I'm sorry."
wrong.
So I told myself, like, if I ever got to the point where I can help other men, it would absolutely be for free. I wouldn't ask for I wouldn't make it mandatory that you have to pay me X amount of dollars
Mm-hmm.
for me to be able to help you. I'm going to use Matt as an example. Matt, if you call me up, oh, dadgummit. If you called me up and told me that you were really going through the pits, your woman was leaving you, you had to file for bankruptcy, whatever the case may be, you were really going through the pits, and you hit me up and said like, man, I really don't know what to do. Like, I'm struggling. Like, is there anything you can do to like give me some advice, whatever? And I tell you like, yeah, man, I can help you. Send me $1,000.
I'll tell you, kick rocks. I
Right.
Exactly. And,
was
you
like,
know, oh, go ahead. My bad.
you know, uh, if there's, I mean, to say this without sounding like a total jerk,
It's
but
all right. Say it with your chest.
I mean, here's the thing: when you claim to be a Christian outreach program, and then people are reaching out, and then you demand money to help them rather than taking something as like donation in the end or whatever, it kind of puts a bad taste, and that's one reason why I believe that people are walking away from Christianity.
Well,
Is
and we can definitely get into that, but
Yeah.
you know and that's what eventually I'm getting into is like getting to is you know when I was going through everything that I was going through, I was like, if I ever get to the point where I can help other men, I'm not going to charge them for it because, you know, if like I was saying, I was using you as an example. Like, say for instance, you were going through something, and I told you, yeah, man, just send me $1,000, I'll help you, and you were like, and you hit rock bottom, like you hit rock bottom and found out that son of a gun had a basement, and you needed direction. You needed someone to just give you some solid advice. And someone says, "Oh yeah, just give me $1,000 and I'll help you." And then you just said, "Man, nobody just cares anymore." And then I would have to live with that for the rest of my life, knowing that somebody needed help and they didn't get the help they were asking for because I was selfish, because I cared about money more than I cared about that person's well-being. That is
Now,
not being a Christian.
since we're kind of on this topic, though, if say a man needs help, but he doesn't believe in God or believe in the Bible, is he still welcome to come to Road to Redemption?
Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and force what I believe on people, but it's been tried, tested, and true. If you apply, like let's just take the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs has
Mhm.
31 chapters for 31 days in a month. If you read one chapter a day for a whole month, you apply what you've learned, what you've read to your life would automatically get better.
Mhm.
It's been tried, tested, and true. And you got to think like in a group called Road to Redemption, we're not a debate, thing. You were coming in here because you want to level up in life. If you come into this group knowing that is a faith-based group and you have a problem with it, then it's probably not the right group for you. I'm not going to kick you out unless you're doing something that's just demeaning to, what I believe and what the other men in the group believe. But I am going to welcome everybody with open arms. It's when people start, doing like underhanded things. That's when it's
Mhm.
like, okay, now we have a problem. Like, we're just gonna have to excuse you from the group and we'll just ban them.
Okay,
And
so
wish them the best. Like,
obviously honesty is expected. And
mm-hmm,
that's just anyone, anywhere, honesty is expected. But when that door
exactly.
closes and it's just us amongst men, are they expected to bear their souls and their secrets behind closed doors with us?
Uh, it, um, Elaborate on that a little bit.
They just come in and just lay everything out on the table and then like basically tell us this is what I have, this is everything. Like,
I mean, honesty is, of course, always going to be key. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and expect someone that is embarrassed of the things that they're going through.
mhm.
Um, I'm not going to expect them to, you know, be so open. Like
Yeah, yeah.
when I became a Christian, there were things that I didn't want to tell my pastor that I had done because I was quite embarrassed of it. Now, eventually, I got to the point where it was like, okay, so I've done these things, and he was like, okay, I understand. I appreciate your honesty, and we were able to move forward with that, and we were able to, he was actually able to give me more advice that actually helped out in the long run because I came fully clean and fully honest with him, kind of thing.
Um,
So I don't
kind of,
expect it off the rip.
kind of on that topic. Um, how do I word this? Like, is it considered lying that like it's not that they don't tell you the truth, but they just don't tell you like they know something but they don't tell you? Is that still considered lying?
Um, Short answer for me, yes. However, there's a caveat to it. I try to live my life the way that the Bible tells me to live. I'm not perfect. I want to make that abundantly clear. I'm
Mhm.
not perfect. I have flaws just like everybody else. But I have yet to come across a Bible verse that says that if you do not like, well, no, I don't remember the name of it, but there is a verse in there that talks about how you have to, like, you basically have to tell the whole truth.
Yeah.
Kind of like how whenever you're in court and they put your hand on the Bible or make you raise your right hand, you say, "Do you
Mhm.
swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?"
Yep.
And you know, like, so I personally feel, and this, and like, we can kind of just put the Bible right here for a second and just say, like, personally, I feel like if you tell half truths and you don't tell the whole truth, it's still a lie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I try to live. Like, if I got to tell Kayla something that I really don't want to tell her because, say I did something wrong, which
Mhm.
I don't do anything wrong, but if I did do something wrong and I had to come to her and tell her about it, if I don't tell her the whole truth, then in my mind I'm still lying to her, and I'm
Facts.
gonna, you know, and if she
His phone
if
died.
she if she were to find out the whole truth, it would be damaging to her because I didn't tell her the whole truth. So
Mhm.
it's better just to come clean and tell the whole
Absolutely.
truth. That way it's all laid out. I mean, is think about it. If I told you, um if I told you like a half truth, all right? Like, let's say I will use Matt since he's not here.
Yeah.
Let's say Matt told me something about you, and then I came to you, or like, say for we'll say the example of,
Mhm.
you know um you said something demeaning towards me and towards Kayla. Okay,
Mhm.
I know you
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Was just as a hypothetical. So
Mhm.
you go to him and you say something negative about me and Kayla, and then I come
Mhm.
to you and tell you, you know, hey man, Matt said you said something about me. Like, care to elaborate on that? And you tell me what you said about me, but you didn't say anything about what you said about Kayla. And you
Mhm.
know how much she means to me.
Right.
So if you don't tell me what you said about her, then I'm gonna think in my mind he's hiding something. I'm gonna let it be. But then eventually it's gonna eat at you, and you'll be like, man, I really need to come clean. I did say something about Kayla as well. But that's the thing though. The truth isn't necessarily for the other person. It's for yourself. Kind of like
Okay. So
forgiveness.
two things I want to touch on here. Um. One. Um. I'd rather have my feelings hurt and know the whole truth than to be happy and find out later that there was a lie involved. And
Exactly.
two, just as a man, like I'm going to use Kayla hypothetically just because she's a female. Um, and because you're my brother, you're one of my best friends. And I have so much respect and loyalty to you, right? Say I had an issue with Kayla, I would come to you first as a man and be like, bro, this is my issue with Kayla. How do you want me to handle this? And either
And I
you would take care of it or you and I would have a conversation on how to address that issue.
exactly. And that's how it's supposed to be. Like, you know, and I've had conversations with you in the past. Like, we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
we have an understanding. If there is something that you feel a certain type of way about, you can come to me, and I'm not gonna like about
Absolutely.
me. Let's say that. Like, if there's
Hmm.
something that I did that you feel a certain type of way about, you can come to me, and I'm not gonna sit here and belittle you or
Absolutely.
dog you or whatever. I'm just gonna be like, hey
Right.
man, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That wasn't my intention, but and it's either gonna be like, if it's wrong, I'll say like, hey man, I'm sorry about what I did. You know, I take responsibility. I'll work on it, try to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Mhm.
Or if it's actually right, but you don't like it because it hurts your feelings, which this is just a hypothetical. I would
Mhm.
come to you and say like, "Hey man, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way. That wasn't my intentions, but it still stands because it's the truth." You know,
Mhm.
and the truth doesn't always feel good. The truth kind of
Right.
stings.
You know, you lived a bit of a crazy life. You've done a lot. With your job that you have now, is
So
that
right now,
what you've always wanted to do?
mm,
Or like, if you could
I'm
do
not.
anything, would you want to do something else? Or
Oh, no, I absolutely love what I do, but I didn't even know it was a thing really until like I don't know, a couple of years ago, probably.
Mhm.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I knew it was a thing, but it wasn't like one of those things where it was like, oh, I want to go do that. It was someone taught me into it, and I fell in love with it.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, I mean, we're based around the construction, you know, field, but I work in the crane industry and like industrial work, you know, mostly with on the crane side. But I mean, yeah, it's what I do. I absolutely love it. Um, I don't see myself doing anything else.
You told me like you work some really, really long days some days, like, and you spend some long days on the road. Like, there's times you don't come home for some days. Um, when you're just feeling drained and completely just done and over it, what helps Big Country to refill his cup?
Calling my fiance,
Shuttle
she's
Killer, let's
standing right
go.
there. Yeah, she's standing right behind us. Um, but yeah, I mean, like when I'm going through, like if I've had a day, like you know, if I had to go out of town for work, right, and I've had just a really long day, I'm hurting, tired, sun's beat the crap out of me all day, and
Hmm.
I get back to the hotel, you know, take a shower, and I'm laying down in bed, you know, I'll call her up, and it's like all of that goes away. Like, it really does. Like,
Right on.
I have never I've never been in a relationship like this before. Um, I've only really been in a handful of relationships in my entire life because I was always the type like I'm not dating to like screw around. I'm dating because I want to find somebody. And I, you know, thought I found someone before and turned out to not necessarily be the case. And then out of nowhere, this bombshell comes into my life. She's got a cute ass. Anyway, um, but but so like she comes into my life, and it was like, you know, Kayla is, how can I put this? Like Kayla is just, she's gorgeous and beautiful and way more beautiful than of a woman than I deserve to have.
Oh,
I honestly and truthfully, the first time I ever saw Kayla, I looked at her and was like, "Oh my god, she is gorgeous," and that was it. I was married at the time. I saw her and I was like, "She is gorgeous," and then that was it. Um,
so
and
I know you posted some pictures, you posted some videos, but you haven't been live in the last week or so. Do you want to break the silence right here on Manscape Podcast and tell the world what happened last weekend?
oh yeah, I mean, we so I asked Kayla to marry me, and of course she said yes.
Let's
And
go, my boy, get married.
yeah, I'm here to tell you, man, it's the best decision I ever made, man. Best decision I ever made. I was very thankful that you know, everybody that was there could be there. Shout out to my parents who helped me like
Let's
orchestrate the
go.
whole thing. Um, shout out to my brother and his wife for being able to come down from Tennessee to be able to, spend time with us. Of course, all of her family that, that was there, and they lived close to us. And we also had some friends that were there as well. And then her aunt came all the way from Tallahassee, Florida to come be there for it as well. So it was a big thing. I've been planning this for since July of last year. So
So all the
it was a
family
big
came and
thing.
showed up. Did she have any idea what was happening?
Nope, not at all. And it was
Can you give us
funny
a
because
brief play-by-play?
so all right, so we're driving to the restaurant, and I get like 5 minutes away. I was like, freak, I forgot to tell my mom we're on the way. So I text my mom and was like, hey, like 5 minutes away. And she was like, okay, well, I'm waiting in the parking lot. So we get there, we park, and we walk up. Of course, she walks up, gives Kayla a hug. She gives the boys a hug, and then she's like kind of standing like behind me. Kayla's like under this arm, and my mom's like over here, and I got
Yeah.
my hand like down here, like, hey, pass me the baton, and like I feel her phone. I'm like, I don't need your phone. I need the freaking ring. So she finally hands me the box, and Kayla and her boys walk up, and I'm like behind them, and then the boys kind of like step off to the side, and then I like while she's facing my mom, my dad it has his phone out, and she's just kind of like looking at him, and I'm like I get down on one knee behind her, and I kind of like tap her hip, and I'm holding the ring like this and just looking up, and she falls out. That was it.
So how did you feel like that moment just before you got down on one knee and all that? How do you feel leading up to that moment?
Man, a lot of people ask me if I was nervous. And I don't necessarily want to say I was nervous. I was excited. Like and like some people, oh, that's the same thing. Nah, not really. Not for me. Nervous is like, man, I really don't know if I want to do this. Like I'm having second thoughts. Like when I proposed to my ex-wife and when I got married to my ex-wife, I was nervous. I the first thought that I had like right before I had to go to where we were getting married at, I had a thought in my mind. I was standing in her mom's house in the Bahamas, getting about to drive over to where we
Mhm.
had to go to get married, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I could leave right now. That thought literally came into my mind. I was like, you could leave right now, and it might hurt at first, but you can walk right now, and you don't have to do this. And I was like, where the hell did that thought even come from? And hindsight's always 2020. I should have listened,
Right.
but I didn't. And
I'm so proud of you.
but so like when I asked like when I got on one knee and asked Kayla to marry me, I was excited. Like I was
Mhm.
'cause I wasn't nervous at all. Because I didn't have second thoughts about this one. I literally I couldn't get down on one knee fast enough and get her to turn around fast enough. I was like, dude,
Mhm.
I'm so ready to like when I got her ring, I wanted to give it to her right then, but I was like, I can't. I gotta wait another month and a half before I can ask her to marry me. And it couldn't have been more perfect.
So you said like you planned this 8 months ago, but how long ago did you know this is the one that I want to marry?
Oh man, like August 6th of 2023, me and Kayla started talking out of the blue.
Okay.
Never would have thought I'd have heard from her. And this woman, excuse me, I got a tobacco leaf in my lip. Um, this woman literally stayed on the phone with me while I was driving to Birmingham, Alabama. She
Mhm.
stayed on the phone with me until 3 o'clock in the morning. She had to be up and getting ready to work or getting ready to go to work at 6 o'clock. And a couple of days went by. We've been talking, and I was like, I want to marry this woman. Literally, like after the first couple of days, like we were talking, I was
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna marry this woman.
How did you and her meet?
So my best friend, Casey, is her brother-in-law. And I've known Casey for a very long time. We used to go to metal concert venues and stuff. But well, I've known him. We weren't like as close as we are now, but we knew each other. And we used to go to the same spots as far as like metal venues and stuff like that, going and listening to metal bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we both got into, he grew up around motorcycles, whereas like my dad had one, but I didn't grow up around them like he did. And when I got my first bike, he hit me up and was like, "Hey, dude, you want to go ride?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we're riding around, and all that stuff. Um, and our friendship, grows into, you know, like best friends and like brothers and stuff like blood couldn't make me and this guy any
Yep.
closer. Like I love this guy to death. And um, I remember like I got back on Facebook after I took a hiatus. I got back on Facebook. I had to make a new Facebook because my old one I couldn't log into for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a new Facebook and I just went and started adding some people that I knew. And Kayla was one of them. Because me and my best friend Casey, like we're so close, and because I know his wife and his mother-in-law, Kayla's mom, like because I know all of them so well, I just added the whole family because I like them. They're
Nice.
really good people. So when Kayla added me back, I went on her profile and was kind of like looking through some of her pictures, and I was like, God, she is just so beautiful. And I messaged Casey. I was like, bro, why does this woman have to be so beautiful? And he screenshots that shit and sends it to her. I was like, you ratted me out, dude. I'm not even mad about it either because, like, dude, I will take that ratting like all day long
Let's
because, like,
go.
she messaged me on the 6th of August and we hadn't stopped talking since.
It's funny. So I know you're a big dude. How tall is she?
So Kayla is 5'0".
So what's the height difference? Foot and
A
a
foot
half?
and 8 inches, 20 inches
Wow.
actually.
That's a
Yeah.
huge difference, really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you can always help her hit the top shelf, right? Um,
Oh yeah.
what
But a
is
little side note for all the guys out there that are contemplating, like on the fence about wanting to date a woman that's shorter than, like way shorter than them. Just imagine when you grab it versus her grabbing it. Put you on some game.
let's go. It always smaller hands always make it look bigger, fellas.
It is the ultimate confidence booster.
Right? Um, so you mentioned earlier that she has boys. So are you a stepdad these days?
Well, officially, when we get married, I will officially be a stepdad.
But what is that like now, helping raise two boys?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, she did a phenomenal job raising these boys. Like, the youngest is 13, the oldest is 16. Um, and both of them are just, you couldn't ask for better, better young men. They, very respectful. Um, and boy, when I tell you they love their mom, ooh, I'm not going to get into details, but the oldest one, no, I don't care how close he is to someone. He will burn that bridge for
Mm-hmm.
his mom, and I've witnessed it. Like these boys love their mom, and I mean they're not like mama's boys or anything. They're not like soft or anything like that. They're
Mm-hmm.
genuine, just really good young men, and I think very highly of them, and I think that they're going to go off and make whatever whoever whatever woman they end up getting married to. I think that they are going to make that woman a very happy wife one day.
Just kind of a side question about something we talked about when we started, and kind of touches on this. Because you mentioned you like cooking, you like baking, and you're close with your parents. Like, were you a mama's boy at all? Like, were you real close with your mom? Like,
So I'll have to be honest. Like, my mom and I, like, growing up, like, I loved her. I loved my mom to death, and I knew she loved me. And back then, it was like, when you're growing up, you're like, you kind of think like, oh man, mom and dad won't let me do nothing I want to do, blah blah
right?
blah, and all that stuff.
I get that.
Well, my mom back in the day, she was a helicopter mom. She always wanted to be like
Upward boy
involved
then.
with everything, and it kind of bothered me because I had friends of mine that kind of had like freedoms and stuff like that to be able to go do what they wanted to do, and I didn't necessarily have that type of freedom. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
why can't all my friends have this, but I can't? And it was like, there were things like, me and my mom used to argue and bicker back and forth between one another all the time. Um, and then like, of course, like whenever I would smart off at my mom, my dad would step in, and all that stuff, like any man should. Like if you hear your son smart mouthing off to your wife, like that's your wife. Like you're gonna stand 10 toes down for her if you
Right.
if you were a decent man. And he did just that. And like growing up, I didn't realize that. I thought that they were just like trying to keep me from doing the things that I really would like to do. So and I do feel like part of that is kind of like what led me to kind of rebel and ultimately become like the black sheep of the family for so long,
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't do some of the things that I wanted to do. It was like I was expected to learn from their mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not how I learn. I have to be in the trenches. I have to get my hands on and be like, okay, this is, you know, like I need to do this. I need to experience this. And then I'm like, if it's bad, I don't need to do it. And, and, you know, while I was never really a bad kid, like I was never in trouble, never got arrested, never got
I was
hooked
just
on
want to ask you if
drugs.
you were ever in trouble growing up.
No, I was never a bad kid. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've gotten some altercations before, like with other dudes or whatever. Like they shove you, you hit them back. That's it. You get suspended for a day or two, and you come
Yeah.
back, keep doing your own thing. But you know, I uh, I was never a bad kid. I always tried to be respectful to people. Um, and then like some of that, I was still always respectful, but then it just got to the point like as I got older, like junior, senior year of high school, I started kind of like really rebelling a little bit, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't really care for authority type thing. So, of course, that goes right along with being in the motorcycle club world as well. Um, because I had really bad experiences with law enforcement, you know, and I mean, and they were such bad experiences, knowing that they knew that I didn't have a record, but I still got treated the way I got treated by them, and even to this day, I still have trouble, trusting that law enforcement does the right thing. And that's a different topic
So
for a
when
different.
we mentioned earlier about Bunny using the video, like when or what caused you to really start having the outlaw to society kind of mindset?
Just that the world isn't your friend, and the world does not care about you. The world is going
Mm-hmm.
to keep continuing on. When I'm 6 feet down in that dirt. When you and I are dead and gone, and we're
Mm-hmm.
laying in our graves, the world is going to continue to keep going forward.
Facts.
And it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. You know, at any point in time, you can lose anything and everything that you have. And I've experienced that. You know, and I just I got to the point where I got tired of living the norm. Like wake up, do this, do that. And it's like I wanted to belong to something. Like I didn't belong to my wife, my ex-wife at
Mm-hmm.
my wife at the time, now my ex-wife. I didn't belong to her because I didn't feel like she wanted me to belong to her. I didn't feel like there's a saying, if you give a woman a house, she'll turn it into a home. If
Mm-hmm.
you give a woman groceries, she'll turn it into a meal. If you
Yeah.
give a woman, seed, she'll give you children. And and that's not, me trying to belittle women into only being capable of doing those things. I think women are more important than men are, in a lot of different aspects of life. Um, but it's just one of the old sayings that goes around, and it's like when I gave, like, my at the time, my wife, now my ex-wife, when I gave her a house,
Mm-hmm.
it stayed a house. I didn't feel like I was home. Whenever I came home, when I walked through that front door, I was just like, whatever. I didn't feel like I was home. It was like I lived somewhere with someone of the opposite sex. I just it didn't really.
Were you born in
I
the same
just
state you're at now?
Yeah, I was.
Um, I don't know. I'm starting to really kind of run out of questions here. What does life look like these days for Big Country?
So life these days is just simple. Like, I don't need a lot. I really don't have a lot of wants. And the only thing that I really want is come home, spend time with the family, go to bed, wake up, and do it all over again. I love what I do. I love what I do as far as work. Um, I love the industry I'm in. Um, and when I go to work and I get that sense of fulfillment because I'm doing something that I genuinely love doing, I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm just, I'm doing something I love. So technically, you don't ever feel like you're working when you're doing something you love. And then when I get off work, I'm tired. I'm dirty, probably smelly. I come home, and when I walk through that door and I see Kayla sitting on that couch or standing at the door waiting on me, whatever the case may be, I got videos of me walking up the steps and she's standing there waiting on me, like, come here, hurry up. I want a hug. And, I'll run up to her and give her a hug and stuff like that, and that's all I really care for. I just want to spend time with my family, do right by them, live the way that God wants me to live. And that's all I could ever ask for.
I'm sorry if I'm all over the map when I ask these questions. I'm still learning this.
Oh, you good?
But you talked about motorcycle community. You talked about road to redemption. What
Right.
does real brotherhood look like to Big Country?
True brotherhood to me is not the polished kind that a lot of people think. True brotherhood to me is, um, you know, like if you came to me and told me that you needed help with something, I'm gonna come help you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not necessarily gonna ask for that in return. Now, if I need help and I call you and say like, "Hey, man, I need some help," and you say, "Oh, well, I can't," I'm like, all right, well, I'll let that go a couple times, and if it never happens, then hey, you probably weren't ever my brother to begin with. But to me, true brotherhood is, whenever you're, you know, no matter what it is that you're going through in life, your brother is always going to be there for you. Um, you might be going through something financially, you know, and you like you try to help that brother as much as you can, and then they finally get back on their feet. I'm not going to expect anything in return. It was like, brother, I gave that to you because I wanted to see you do well. I wanted to see you
Right.
succeed. So I'm never going to add, like, if I give something to somebody, that is a gift. Like, don't give it back to me. Like, you don't owe me anything. Your loyalty is enough. Um,
Facts.
so, I guess that's the long answer, but the short answer, loyalty, honor, respect, you know, those go a very long way. But the problem that we run into nowadays is that brotherhood has been so watered down, just like the term love, just like just like a lot
Mhm.
of other things in this world. It's become so watered down. Nobody actually knows what true brotherhood is. I know guys that swore by brotherhood. Like, I will ride for my brothers. I'll die for my brothers,
Right.
blah, 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 and all that stuff. And then as soon as the wolf comes knocking, or as soon as opposition comes up, they're pointing fingers, turning on each other. And it's like, really? That's brotherhood? I'm good.
Um, Two things I really want to ask here, because we're going to get in depth in some real shit here. And I hear some guys say, "Don't bro me if you don't know me." Is there a difference between bro and brother?
I used to say that all the time before I actually like kind of matured and got like an understanding of um like who I am as a person. And like the whole don't bro me if you don't know me thing, like bro is just a term of endearment. Like
Mhm.
it's all circumstantial. You know, if you have a certain um if there's certain things that you don't want to be called, that people should respect that, you know. Um Bro and brother, to at least solely my opinion,
Mhm.
bro is a term of endearment. I call people bro all the time. But if I call you brother, like I'm talking like the whole word brother.
Right.
Like to me, that's something. Um, and like I said, there's a lot of people out there that might not agree with that, but that's genuinely how I feel.
Mhm.
Because if I call you brother, like that actually means something.
Um, I want to touch on a really touchy subject here. Um, and if you don't want to answer this, just feel free to say so.
All right.
But because you talked about the music industry, you talked about the motorcycle community, and you talked about social media. Why does snitching seem so publicly like acceptable these days?
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago. Brotherhood is so washed up right now. Like nobody actually knows what the term brother actually means.
Right?
You know, like I was saying a little while ago, like you see people all the time, like I'll ride for my brother, I'll die for my brother. But then when
Facts.
opposition comes, they rat on them. Like
Yes, they do.
that's not brotherhood to me.
Right?
If I'm if I'm going to if I'm gonna call someone brother, like it's a lot more than just, hey, I'm broke down on the side of the interstate. I need you to come pick me up. You know, brotherhood is one of those things where it's like I have to know that I am going to be able to rely on you
Mhm.
and you are going to remain loyal to me. And I'm talking about in the ways of, if someone's talking about me behind my back and they act cool to me to my face,
Mhm.
you're going to let me know. You're not going to
Oh,
sit here
facts.
and team up with them and be like, "Oh yeah, that big country dude, like he's this, that, and the third." Like, no, you're going to come to me and tell me like, "Hey, dude's bad mouthing you, dude." And you know,
We've had that
and that's a
conversation.
huh?
You and I have had that conversation about people talking to me about you.
Oh yeah, I mean, and if that's what they want to do, like by all means, like they don't live rent free in my head. I don't think about them. Obviously, they think about me, and that is what it is. Like I can't help what people think about. Um, but as far as like the whole like turning on your brothers and like snitching on your
Mhm.
brothers and stuff like that, like to me, that's just that's that Sons of Anarchy type brotherhood. Like, you
Right?
know, people that as soon as, you know, someone comes running up and tries to like test your mud, you're going to cave because you're not really about it. I've mud checked a bunch of people out here. Like people, like I remember one time I was hanging out at a local bar. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago. I was hanging out at a local bar, and these group of guys that I knew, they were little riding club. They weren't nothing like an MC or anything, just a little riding club. They come out to this bar, and the president and I think the sergeant at arms or whatever had their women out there with them because their wives were close friends. Cool. Well, we're all hanging out. I'm sitting at the table. I got me a drink. I'm just chilling out, whatever. And the the president's wife was like, "Hey, babe, can you get me a drink?" It was like, "Yeah, I'll go get you. Want your usual?" She was like, "No, I don't want you to get it. I want you to tell the prospect to go get it." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Hey, man, let me holler at you for a minute." And I took him outside, and I was like, "You let your woman talk to your prospective members like that?" It was like, "Well, she don't mean no harm." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not how this stuff is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Like, you are a brotherhood, supposedly. You're not a brother and a sisterhood. You are a brotherhood, supposedly."
Facts.
I was like, "She does not call anybody a prospect.
Right.
She has no right to call somebody a prospect. She is your old lady, and that is it. She has no lead, no pull, no nothing." And he didn't like that at first, but then he understood because he knew that if he was going to allow her to do something like that, then that's opening up a door, leaving the door barely cracked enough for her to be able to just continue to do whatever she wants to do. And now she's going to go right to that prospect the next time and be like, "Hey, prospect, go get me a drink."
Right.
I have seen people slap for that, were were calling another club's prospective member a prospect, and they weren't a member of that club. I've
Wow.
seen people literally get punched in the face for that.
That's wild. Um, we touched on the music industry earlier and like kind of on the snitching thing. Um, how do you feel like because you were a music artist yourself, but also as a fan of music and like coming from the community you came from, how do you feel about the government trying to use artists' lyrics against them to convict them of crimes?
Um, Honestly and truthfully, like I'm not a fan of the government, like none whatsoever. Still, even to this
Mhm.
day, like I just think they just do way too many dirty things. Um, and while I'm gonna say this, I don't necessarily care that federal agencies are are you know convicting people based off of lyrics that they put out there
Mhm.
because for a couple of reasons. One, it's stupid. You snitched on yourself.
Right.
Like I remember Pat Stay, he was a battle rapper that I listened to, and
I
he
know
was
who that
battling
was. Yep.
Calico. Yeah, he was battling a guy named Calico, and Pat Stay nailed it when he was talking about like, you know, the the cops don't even gotta try anymore. They're just sitting in their cops listening to his mixtape, eating popcorn or something like that. Like and like he's literally going and saying all the stuff that the guy's saying is like, "I got this gun right here, got it from my man Alexander Great the Third, and I got another one
Wow.
in the top floor second drawer in the sock drawer or something like that." Man, I'm like busting out laughing, but it's because these guys literally snitch on themselves. I'm like,
Right.
if you were stupid enough to snitch on your stuff, then you're stupid enough to have to serve time for it. Now, there's a caveat to that. Do I think that it's really worth spending American tax dollars to get convictions out of these guys? No, because while you're trying to get a conviction from a rap artist who's talking about his previous life before he got out of the streets and started
Hmm.
rapping, you had to pass by 2 meth labs and a dead hooker just to get to him.
That's wild. So
To this
does,
to this day, I think that the ATF should be a corner store.
does Big Country have a favorite band or artist?
Um, I mean, I don't really have a favorite. I like a bunch of different ones. Um, I mean, of course, I will say because I love Jelly Roll and all them. Like of course, I'm gonna say him. I listen to a lot of his music. Because a lot of his music has actually like helped me out mentally and stuff like that. And it kind of calms me, and stuff like that. Hard Fought Hallelujah is another really good song that I love listening to. I listen to that sometimes going into work, and it just kind of sets the mood right for work. And of course, I listen to the Jelly Roll version with Brandon Lake and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like or Blake, Brandon Lake's version with Jelly Roll. Excuse me. Uh, I listen to that version. Um, there's a bunch of different stuff that I listen to, but I don't necessarily think I have a favorite
When
band or a
you out
favorite artist.
drive or just cruising or whatever, who or what does your playlist look like?
Oh my goodness. It goes from bluegrass to freaking like death metal.
Wow.
Like it'll go from ding 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 to like all kinds of crazy stuff.
Now, you keep saying the word Jelly Roll. Let's get into something deep right quick. What do you think of the Jelly Roll Nicole Arbor situation?
Oh my goodness. Man, Nicole Arbor, like she's done this with a bunch of different people. She did it to Upchurch the Redneck. She did it to Tommy Vex. And and you saw how it was. Like she had
Yeah.
none of her videos like are popping up on the For You page anymore in regards to Jelly Roll and
No.
Bunny anymore because everybody saw that she's so full of crap. Like literally.
Right.
I mean, she's even talking about sorry I couldn't take that hush money. Like, but you literally did. You signed the affidavit stating that you
It's out
took it.
there.
But then, of course, they, recanted everything because she said some of the stuff she said or whatever the case was. And that was it. That was all. I quit paying attention to it after that because when I heard Nicole Arbor was trying to do all this stuff against Jelly Roll and all that stuff, I immediately thought of Tommy Vex.
Hmm.
And Tommy Vex, like I've never met Tommy Vex, but I've heard Bunny and Jelly talk about how awesome of a person he is. And
Yeah.
it's like that's all I need to hear. Because if I got those two people saying that this person's a good person, that's all I need to hear. I don't care. And
Facts.
Tommy Vex, like I like his vocals. I think he's a phenomenal artist. I don't know what he's like in his personal life, but I'm sure he's probably made some mistakes or whatever. But who hasn't? And you know, Nicole has been on a witch hunt with was on a witch hunt with this guy. Then she was on a witch hunt with Upchurch the Redneck, and I'm sorry, Upchurch the Redneck can get whatever he has coming to him, bro. Like he ain't he ain't even worth the dirt that's going to be thrown on him when it comes his time to pass. I just I have nothing for Ryan, but you know when Nicole Arbor came out and started saying all this stuff about Ryan Up or came out started saying all these allegations towards Ryan Upchurch, you know, I didn't even for once think to myself like, oh yeah, Ryan did that. I'm like, I didn't believe it even when she was going to him, and I do not like Ryan Upchurch. I don't. I think he's a
Hmm.
joke, but
I don't like him either.
I even defended him in a lot of those things. I was like, didn't you say the same thing about Tommy Vex like literally a few months back? or like the previous year. And now then she started doing it at Jelly Roll and all them. And I'm just like, bro, this woman is looking for an easy payout. She's a washed up actress, model, whatever she is. And she's washed up and she's looking for an easy payout.
Um, we've talked about a lot tonight. We've covered a lot tonight. What can we expect to see in the future from Big Country?
Well, so I am working on starting my own podcast. I was going to record my first episode today, but I think because of how late we got started, which was my fault, and being as long as we've done this, like I'm gonna have to put that off till tomorrow. So Road to Redemption podcast, the pilot episode will be shot tomorrow,
Mhm.
probably mid afternoon or something like that. I'll send a link out to you if you want to come watch it or whatever.
Oh,
But
absolutely. I'll be there.
but yeah, we're gonna I'm starting that. Me and Kayla now have a wedding to plan. So we
Oh,
got
is
a
it
lot
going to be
going
like
on.
are y'all doing like the big wedding or are y'all doing something small and quiet? Do you have any
Oh no,
idea?
we're just gonna do something small. We don't like we only want like close family and friends to be there.
Hmm.
And I mean it's gonna be so small, like I'm literally just gonna go buy a bunch of like Boston butts and stuff like that and just do like a
Hmm.
bunch of barbecue, maybe even do like a couple of briskets or
Nice.
something like that. And then we're just gonna make a whole bunch of fixings. We're just gonna have like a big old southern like throwdown or something like that. I mean,
That
it's
just
gonna
reminded
be
me of a
nice,
question.
but it's just gonna be real small and intimate.
You were talking about all the stuff you're going to make. If you could have anything for dinner, what's on Big Country's plate?
Oh God. Anything if I could have anything. Uh oh man, what I don't know. I mean, because I like a lot of different things, man. Like but if I had to absolutely choose,
Anything you want, what's on Big Country's plate?
I'd have to say probably like a good 16 to in between 16 to 24 ounce ribeye, and I mean I'd probably have to do like maybe some asparagus, like, but it has to be cooked a certain way. It has to
Yeah.
be like sauteed, and I take when I make it, I put like I shred up some fontina cheese and I'll sprinkle that on top. And
Hmm.
but I've sauteed the asparagus and like garlic butter, and thyme, stuff like that, and I saute that up, and then once it comes out, I'll stick it in the oven on broil, and I'll put some fontina cheese on it, and just get them to like kind of crispen up just a little bit, but also melt that cheese on it, really good, and then maybe some like red skin potatoes.
That sounds yummy.
Oh yeah,
If I ever fly out, boy, you got to cook something good for me.
oh I
Um,
definitely will, man. We'll take care of you out here.
like when we've been talking a lot about social media stuff, when all the cameras and the phones are off, who is Big Country? Like, what can we often find Big Country doing?
Honestly and truthfully, man, like not much. Like if I'm not posting anything on social media, I'm more than likely working because we're doing a lot of that right now.
Mhm.
And I'm just sitting on the end of the couch, rubbing Kayla's feet, probably watching Marshalls or something.
Is that your favorite TV show, or is there anything particular
It's
you enjoy watching?
it's just a show that's piqued my interest right now. I mean, I like that one, Tulsa King. Pretty much anything made by Taylor Sheridan,
Oh yeah.
I'm watching. He's just such a good writer. I like a lot of his stuff.
Um, I know you're a busy man. Are you much of a TV or movie person at all?
Um, Not necessarily. I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. Like most of the time, when I'm sitting at the house, like if I'm eating, I'll put like a show on in the background for like background noise for the most
Mhm.
part. But I like I typically like quiet, but sometimes it's like, I kind of wouldn't mind just like watching some excuse me. Kind
I
of
think
wouldn't
you're
mind
fine.
watching some watching like a TV show here and there or something like that. Kayla's more of a TV watcher than I am.
So we've covered a lot tonight. If people want to reach out to you personally or follow you, where can they find and follow Big Country?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on I don't even remember my Instagram handle. Um, you can follow me on TikTok. That's my biggest platform. Um, and it's Big Country, the letter N, Miss Marie, Muhree. Um,
I'll tag it down
you can
below.
follow me. Yeah, you can follow me on there. I'm decently active on there. I'm not as active as I probably should be, but hopefully that's all going to change here soon. Um, and I mean, I got my Instagram. I think it's I don't remember. I'll send it to you, and you can post it down below.
I always follow it. I'll tag it down below.
10-4, bro.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming and giving us your time tonight. I'll give you one last question. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, or would you like to give us Big Country's final thought?
Um, I mean, just if I had to give a final thought, it'd just be like, man, just go and live your life as live your life to serve other people. Like, and I'm not talking about go and serve people that mean absolutely nothing to you as far as like, you know, people outside, just whatever, like serve people that you love. Like if you genuinely want your relationship with, your wife, your girlfriend, fiance, your kids, whatever, nurture that relationship. Serve in that relationship. And I guarantee you it'll work. It'll work out for you in ways that you never would have thought. It sounds counterproductive. People say all the time, I ain't serving nobody. I only serve
Mhm.
myself. Yeah, well look what that's got you. So if you genuinely want true peace, you want a really good relationship, start by having a servant's heart and you know serve those people to the best of your ability.
Well, brother, you know I got nothing but love for you. I have nothing but love for Kayla and the whole family. I
Likewise,
just
brother.
want to thank you so much for coming and joining us for our very first episode here on on the Manscape podcast. We love ourselves some Big Country around here. We got nothing but love and respect for y'all. I'll tag him down below and everything. Make sure everybody goes and follows this man. He's very amazing. He will love and help anybody that reaches out. Um, but yeah, make sure you go and follow Road to Redemption. Follow Big Country. Make sure you come and follow us on all platforms. We love and thank all y'all for coming and watching and spending the evening with us here tonight. With that, we're going to shut it down. Thank you again to our brother Country. We love you, homie. We'll be in touch with you very, very soon. With that,
Much love, brother.
much love, everybody. We're out of here.